Good morning, students. We are going to start some new math today, some stuff that I think a lot of you guys have worked on before, but again, one of those things that comes up a lot in math and in real life, so it's important that we refresh, review, keep practicing, all that. And today that is rounding numbers. And when we round numbers, just to give you a little bit of history before we start, we do it so that we get to a close number. We know when we skip count, we do other things, it's easier to count with, I always call them clean numbers, that's my own term, numbers that end in 0, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. It's a lot easier to skip count by those numbers than it is to skip count by 7s or 8s, for example. So that's why we round. We round to get close enough. Not exact, but close enough. And that's important, especially when dealing with money, which we've worked on a lot this year. When you have money of your own, you always want to make sure that you kind of estimate, which we've worked on as well this year. And to do that, you need to be able to round to get close enough to what you think that you might need. And there's other places that you might need to round for as well, other than just money. But it's an important skill to do. So all of our numbers, as I write them here on my board, and we're going to start. Sometimes people do, sometimes people don't count 0 as a number. We are going to count it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Whoop, I'm going to have to start fresh. I went too big. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, that's better. So here is my homemade number line with all the numbers that we have. Now there's thousands, millions, billions, trillions more numbers that we can make with all of these numbers. For example, if we put 1 and 2 together, we make 12. But all of our numbers are a combination of these 10 single-digit numbers right here. No other numbers are missing. If we want to make 1,000, we need a 1 and 3 zeros. If we want to make 28, we have a 2 and an 8. So these are all our numbers. Hopefully you get what I mean. So when we round, some numbers round up, some numbers round down, and that's what we're going to talk about this week. But an important thing to remember is, if you count with me here, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 numbers, which might seem easy, but it's a little bit tough, because if you watch me as I counted, when I say 1, I'm on 0. When I say 2, I'm on 1, because that's my second number. So our middle spot, and we talked about this the other week when we talked about median, our middle is right here. So if I drew a line right down here, I've got 5 numbers on the left side, and I've got 5 numbers on the right side. These are the numbers that round down. And these are the numbers that round up. 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4, those numbers round down. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, those numbers round up. Now that's very, very important. Now we are going to start with, there are a bunch of different place values that we can round to, but if we know this, we're going to be in good shape. So if you ever get confused, write out the 10 single digit numbers that exist in order, draw a line down the middle. The first 5 round down, the next 5 round up. All right. So if I get rid of that now, if I can find my rag, there it is, I was sitting on it. I'm going to start with a number. I'm going to start with the number 16. 16. Now, things that I need to realize are, today we are working on rounding to the nearest 10. So that means the nearest place value in our tens. So when I think about tens, I already counted by tens once in this video. I said 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. We're doing the same thing here. So there's two tens that go around 16. 10 and 20. So now what we need to figure out is doing what we just did. Does 16 round to 10 or to 20? Because it's somewhere in between those two. Now based on our number line, if you could think about it, 6, did that round up or did 6 round down? Hopefully you're thinking at home you remembered 6 bigger than 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Those round up. So 16 is going to round up to 20. So 20 would be our answer when we are rounding that. Rounding those numbers. Do another one here, hopefully to help get the trick of it. If I had the number 45. Now that's in between two tens. The easiest way for me to think about which two tens is to use my tens place value. Okay, there's a 4 there, that must mean 40. 10 more than 40, 30, 40, 50. Okay, so it's either 40 or 50 when I'm rounding to the nearest 10. Okay, again, 5 falls on that other side, the up side of rounding, so it's not going to be 40. It's going to round up to 50. Now this will get a little bit harder, but hopefully you're getting the hang of it. So it's always between two options. So if we can figure out those two options, usually it's not too bad to figure out our right answer. Now, what if you had a number just 20? Don't get tricked, it's already rounded. It is at its nearest 10 because it's already at a 10. So nothing to do with that. That was just one trick. Now how about if we get bigger numbers? Say I had 134. Now we're still rounding to the nearest 10. This is where rounding can get confusing, but it doesn't have to be. So we are just going to pretend with our hand here that we're looking at numbers like we used to. We're going to start only looking at our tens and ones place value. We're going to forget about the hundreds for a second. If I was just looking at that number, 34, my two tens are between 30 and 40. Okay, 30 and 40. Just like that. Again, I'm pretending that's not even there. Does 4 round up? Does 4 round down? 4 is going to round down. So get rid of my 40. I know this is going to round down to 30. And now I just got to add my 1 back in there. 134 rounds down to 130. And that's the same thing no matter how big our number gets. Even if I do 13,621 and I want to round to the nearest 10, now I'm just covering up 3 numbers. 21. Okay, that's between 20 and 30. 1 rounds down, so that's 20. Everything else stays the same. 20. Everything else stays the same. 6, 3, 1. 13,620. It only went down 1, but that's how we round to the nearest 10. We are going to keep on working on this week. You'll have a little assignment to work on today on this, and then tomorrow, since we rounded to the nearest 10 today, tomorrow we'll start working on rounding to the nearest 100. And believe it or not, if you can figure out the tens, rounding to the nearest 100 and thousands actually gets easier. You'll see that as we move on. Good luck on your work today. We'll see you tomorrow.